Now, the U.S. Army's Pacific Command in its latest report has observed a continued deployment of PLA forces on the line of actual control with India.
The report suggested that China's long-standing border dispute with its neighbor reflects regional tensions on world's longest unmarked border between India and China. It said the People's Liberation Army is working to improve combat readiness and interoperability and is constantly upgrading the methods as well as standards of training combined arms maneuver. The report reflected that PLA prioritized integrating training with joint forces and logistics, including executing multiple large-scale exercises, while sustaining deployments to the line of actual control with India.
It also briefly talked about the PLA's internal security forces such as the People's Armed Force Police and the Joint Logistics Support Force, which were bolstering joint interoperability with PLA for rapid response, mobility and counter-terror operations.
Mentioning the deadly 2020 skirmish between India and China, the report read that PLA had deployed rotational forces along the line of actual control, while it reinforced military activities, facilities and infrastructure in a bid to support additional deployments if needed.
The report also mentioned the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and added that the introduction of CPEC was meant to reduce China's dependence on the Malacca Strait as well as Indian Ocean for maritime shipping. It also highlighted that China was actively working to secure overseas interests and bolster its control over global grain, energy, national resources and industrial supply chains.
Contrary to this report, however, China's ambassador to India, Xu Feihong, on Tuesday termed the border dispute between the two countries as a minor difference.
Now, he said that it was normal for two neighbors to have differences and that it was important to know how these differences were viewed and handled. He also said that both countries had the wisdom and the capability to handle these differences to find a mutually acceptable solution.
Speaking at an event celebrating the 75th founding of the People's Republic of China, Xu Feihong went on to say that Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping reached a consensus that India and China were partners and not rivals. He clarified that both leaders had a reciprocal understanding of each other's development, strategic intentions and core interests.
India and China's tense relationship became worse in 2020 when both militaries engaged in a standoff which later led to a deadly skirmish. A slow but steady rapprochement in ties has continued over the years, which still requires both sides to completely disengage from various friction points.